What's going on, guys? So I wanted to talk really quickly about um, using peptides such as growth hormone, IGF-1, LR3+DES, whichever, BPC-157, and TB500 for use in male enhancement. This is something I actually have direct experience with, and a lot of guys actually ask me about this. Now, first of all, I just want to say that I do not recommend that you do this. I think that you know, using experimental peptides for this purpose, um, you know, is very experimental. And if you do this, there are obviously side effects that you're playing with that could be very deleterious to your health. So I'm not going to say like this is a good idea. What I am going to say is I'm just going to answer the question. I'm going to talk about my own experience. I'm going to talk about experiences of other bodybuilder guys who have messed around with this stuff and have used this for this purpose, and what I think about it. So here I have a article that I pulled up on PubMed about the effect of HGH on uh, PE for boys who have a growth hormone deficiency. So, as you can see, prior to the HGH treatment, 13 out of 15 of the pre-pubertal boys had dick length below the normal mean, and they just didn't. They had a smaller than average dick. So the HGH treatment improved the length in all boys, all but two boys. And, it made a marked improvement. It made a marked improvement on 13 out of 15 of these boys. Now, they don't talk about dosage. They don't talk about where the growth hormone was injected. All of those things make a difference. But the point of this is that by using growth hormone, which stimulates the production of IGF-1 in the body, locally and systemically, they were able to produce results for these kids. And in my own experience and in experience of different bodybuilders, yes, growth hormone is going to obviously increase the size of everything in your body. It increases the size of your hands, for instance. It increases the size of your jawline, your head. It increases the size of your heart, different organs. So it is absorbed systemically, and is going to grow every part of you. Now, the dosage is very dose dependent. So somebody who's using, say, 10 IUs of growth hormone a day, of very high quality, say, pharmaceutical grade growth hormone, or just very high quality generic growth hormone, is going to get significantly different results, more extreme results than somebody who's using 1 or 2 IUs. The time and are you doing it all at once, or are you doing it spread out during the day? Generally, the protocols that work the best tend to be, you're going to want to split this up as many doses as possible. I would consider growth hormone to be the granddaddy of all of these different peptides. Human growth hormone, when taken from a reliable source, is in my opinion, the most effective peptide in this category that you can take for regeneration of, improving the quality of your skin, healing, muscle growth, bone density improvements in the quality of your sleep, immune system boosting. It really is the best one out of any of these, because I believe it's the same hormone that your body produces endogenously, meaning it's the same exact structure as what your body produces naturally. So for whatever reason, it works the best. Now, let's talk about systemic versus local effects. Localized effects are basically wherever you inject this stuff, you're going to experience localized growth in that area. So, for instance, bodybuilders who inject growth hormone or anabolics in specific body parts like their bicep or their chest or wherever, their glutes, that particular area, like say that, a bodybuilder, he always takes his injections in his left glute. His left glute, over time, if he doesn't inject in both left and right glutes, his left glute will be significantly more developed than his right. And we can trace that to a number of different factors that will cause that, but it's true, it happens. So, how does this relate to injection of this stuff for male enhancement? Well, the traditional place to inject this stuff for male enhancement is in the fat pad above the dick. You put it in basically where your pubic hair is, and my recommendation there, if you're gonna do it, is, for the love of God, don't go too deep. Just put it right by the very top layer of skin. You do not want to be hitting a tendon. You do not want to be hitting anything sensitive. If you're going to do it, that would be where I would suggest you do it. Okay? So it works. It can be dramatic, and it can, of course, raise your genetic potential of how big your dick could be through PE. It's the same exact thing. Growth hormone basically it creates new cells. It allows the maximum potential of how many cells you have in your body to be increased. So, for instance, bodybuilders use anabolics. They can only get so big, but when they add human growth hormone and IGF and insulin to the mix, now that's where you get bodybuilders that just are freaks. You get 300-pound bodybuilders that have insane, they're just insane looking. Now, when you use growth hormone in a PE protocol, you now are creating new cells in your dick. And, the same thing is true for IGF. You have two different options with IGF. IGF can be purchased legally online. Obviously not for human consumption. It's not meant for that legally. But, what it is basically growth hormone. The active component of growth hormone is IGF, insulin-like growth factor 1. So there's two different types. There's IGF LR3, which is a modified version of IGF, which it stays active in your system for 24 hours. And then there's IGF-1, which is very potent, and it stays active for 20 minutes. Those will both also increase the number of cells that you have. And of course, if you're doing this solely for PE, you're going to want to do this localized, meaning you're going to want to put it in the fat pad above the dick. Timing wise, I like to use this after the workout. You're already going to experience a small boost in growth hormone after you work out. If you work out anything, you're going to experience a boost in growth hormone after the workout. Significant, but that would just be where I would use it. Now, you can use other peptides. You can use GHRPs. You can use, GHRP2, 6, ipamorelin, CJC with and without DAC, etc. Those work to a lesser degree. They stimulate your own body's natural production of growth hormone. It stimulates endogenous, or your own natural production of growth hormone. It stimulates your pituitary gland to produce more. Whereas HGH, IGF, they are exogenous, meaning that your body doesn't have to produce it. You're just directly injecting it. So it's a different thing. Now, the last two notable peptides that I want to talk about are TB500 and BPC-157. These are very interesting peptides, which I actually do think they're quite a bit safer than using any of the ones I previously mentioned, because they're the way that BPC and TB work is they work through a process of angiogenesis. And what they do, they also have a host of different other benefits that make it really great. But what they do is they literally will grow new blood vessels locally to wherever you inject them. So if you, say you, this is how people commonly use it. If you get injured, say you tear a bicep or you injure your rotator cuff or something, if you inject BPC-157 and TB500, it's like a common cocktail. You generally use it alongside some type of growth hormone stimulating peptide or growth hormone as well. You will heal up faster than you have ever possibly imagined healing was before. Like it's really crazy how fast you heal up after an injury when you inject that stuff. And the reason for that is because literally it is helping produce new blood vessels, new veins and arteries, small capillaries to that area. So literally, if you inject this stuff in the fat pad above your dick, literally you are growing new blood vessels to that area. So it's going to increase, EQ. It's going to dramatically increase the speed of your healing. And it's just, if you're going to do any of these, because I do have people ask me about this quite a bit, Chem PE as it's called. This is these two are probably the safest, and also they do really actually help. They do help increase healing of the tendons. Because if you're doing PE, you're not just stretching out the smooth tissue. You're the corpus cavernosa. You're also stretching out the tendons, you're stretching out the veins. You're doing all this stuff. It needs to heal. So if you want to heal it quickly, that's a great solution. But again, this is not, obviously there are some real side effects that you have to potentially contend with. So consider that before doing this. Final recommendation, which actually comes to mind, is if you're not looking to do an injection, there is a supplement called MK677, which is, in my opinion, it's one of the best options in terms of a peptide for bodybuilding purposes, or PE if you're trying to use peptides for PE. MK677, again, is stimulating your body's own production of growth hormone. And what it does is it has a 24-hour active life in your body. So it produces 12 spurts of your own natural growth hormone in a 24-hour period. So, and it's oral as well. It's orally active. So you don't have to inject anything. You don't have to, risk, hurting yourself with an injection that goes bad. You just take a pill or you take a liquid. So that's another good option for you to investigate. But with that said, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this information. Be safe, make gains, and make it happen. Peace.